What I'm going to do today is work on a scene that I started working on with my mentors this week and just kind of run through the process. This video might be long. If you're not down for that, skip it. So I have this scene with at the very beginning of the show, episode 1. And in episode 1, the kind of the log line for that episode is 2 children find their lives turned upside down when a global pandemic lands too close to home. They grapple with the fallout and strategize to save themselves, their friends, and perhaps the world. That may not be a great one, but that's what it is right now. And the first sequence is the introduction. And the first scene, and it looks like there's only one scene currently in this sequence, is, let's call it that, is 4 young friends try to have fun playing hide-and-go-seek tag, each with their own objectives. I need to fix that. So I wrote that trying to apply the advice that was given me. In the scene heading, identify scene objectives, essentially I guess what I'm trying to get out of the scene from a storytelling perspective, any action, and how and what the characters learn. I really want to focus on what happens. And then another comment was every character enters a scene with a goal. They either learn something or achieve it, or achieve the goal. So this was a tough one for me because I'm like, okay, it's like they're playing tag. Like, what's their objective? And I spent a good long time talking to one of my mentors on this one. And it slowly started to come together. Because initially I'm like, they're playing tag. They're just wanting to have fun. Like, literally, that's all they're doing. Did they succeed? Well, yeah, they succeeded. They're just wanting to have fun. But my beats were that Emily is it. And I hadn't written it down, but I had this idea that she kind of, it's a duty. Who wants to be it, right? She's the one out trying to find everybody. So she's trying to have fun, but I'm not sure that she succeeds. And later on, I had actually conceptualized that she's frustrated at the other kids because they were doing the whole hide-and-go-seek tag thing. They were hiding, and she didn't appreciate that they were moving. Sorry about the phone. And so I guess she kind of wants to have fun. I guess that's her objective, and she doesn't really have fun. Walker learns Travis doesn't want to be with him. So there's this moment where Walker, who's the younger boy, tries to hide with Travis, the older boy. Walker is wanting to hide with him because he respects him, looks up to him, but Travis is annoyed because Travis is... I didn't even think about it, but I think Travis is kind of like, he's competitive. He wants to be the best hider. He wants to be the best at the game, whatever. And he's in it for the win, right? It's for fun. That's his idea of fun. It's innocent and real. But Walker showing up to hide with him ruins his goal, right? And so there's this tense moment with Travis being like, Walker, go find your own place. And Walker doesn't leave quickly enough, so Travis ditches him and runs off to hide somewhere else. Walker learns something. He's wanting to be accepted, and he learns that Travis... I'm not sure exactly how to word that, but somehow he learns that Travis is got other priorities, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he learns something about himself, too. I'm not sure. But anyway, he wants to be included, and it doesn't happen. Travis wants to be the best, but Walker kind of gets in the way, and Travis ends up... hiding with Sage, not intentionally, but he runs behind some bushes. She's already hiding there, and I don't know. I haven't written it yet. Maybe the count's almost up. Or maybe it's not. Maybe he wants to stay with Sage, and he's kind of duplicitous in that respect, which could speak to some other motivations at play. But I think that he doesn't ultimately get what he wants. Sage has been a tough character for me because I envision her as being this kind of happy, likes people, wants people to have fun, quirky, yes, but also kind of normal, if that's a thing. Yeah, I think she wants everybody to get along, and I think that's okay. That's kind of the thing I identified for. But in talking this through, it was actually my mentor who had this great idea. His name's Darth, by the way, the one I was talking to. I'll stop saying mentor; it just sounds weird. And the other guy is Jefferson. Jefferson's more helping me on the production side, figure those things out. And we talked about that some, but I'm really still focused on the screen play, and that's where Darce comes in more significantly. He had this idea that maybe Sage calls Travis out for ditching her younger brother. Maybe Sage says something to Travis about Walker as a mechanism for diffusing the awkwardness of their this moment that I'm envisioning. And I have it here. Travis and Sage experience some awkward feelings toward towards each other. And what I'm envisioning is that he comes back there. He's like, "Can I hide with you?" Yes, whatever. They hide together and they look at each other and they just kind of lock eyes for a moment. And I think I've mentioned that before. And it's awkward. It's, they're feeling new feelings. They don't realize exactly what it is, but they know it's weird. Maybe Sage uses this thing that she saw happen with Travis and Walker. She's genuinely concerned about it, but it's also a nice little, instead of this, let's talk about how you treated Walker, which could be really awkward for Travis. I think he tends to want to be cool, the cool guy. Everybody like him. That's important, He's a genuinely nice person, but sometimes misses things, and that's what happened in Walker's case. So getting called out by this girl that he's just suddenly realizing he's having feelings for. Maybe it's been developing over time, but it's still not fully in his awareness. Anyway, I haven't decided, but I kind of like that idea. And one of the reasons that I like that is there's this other concept they've been trying to drive home for me, and that's what I want to work on here. And the idea is that kind of each scene needs to be its own little story arc. And I guess that's related to the whole learn something or achieve their goal concept. But currently, as I have it, Emily's it. She's frustrated. Within this scene alone, it doesn't really go anywhere. Later on, we resolve, and I need to figure out how to represent that. Walker, he wants to be included, and it doesn't happen. There is a moment in another scene later when Walker and Emily have a moment, not romantic, but just of expressing appreciation. Maybe Emily's aware that Walker's hurt. I don't know. But I guess what he learns is something about... I guess I don't even know what it is because I experienced this as a kid, but do you really know what it is when it's like there's that cool kid and you want to hang out and they're just not interested in having you around? And they dismiss you without even seeming to really notice that it hurts your feelings. What do you learn in that moment? Do you learn something about yourself? That you're not cool? I don't think that's Walker. I think Walker, he desperately wants to be acknowledged for the value that is him. Like what he brings, himself, the things he knows, his experience, his perspective. I think that he's a resilient character, and deep down he values himself. So I don't think he learned something about himself here. Maybe he simply learns that Travis has got some other things on his mind. Maybe he realizes, maybe his relationship with Travis is shifting a little bit now that Travis is getting older. Travis is a post-pubescent young man. Walker is not. That can put some pretty significant perspective differences, I think. So maybe we've got a full arc for Walker in a sense there. He's wanting to have fun. Now, one idea that did come up is establishing more of the connection between all four of the kids. Oh, crud. I don't know how to do that. It could be before they play. Oh, maybe the scene starts that way. I was realizing too the whole slow disclosure thing that I talked about in the bike video. It's kind of like I'm doing that there because I'm envisioning Emily's it. Like I'm dropping into this game of hide and go seek tag. I was imagining a close shot on Emily leaning up against a tree, kind of her long hair hanging down opposite the camera. She's counting, eyes closed. I think that I would read from a scene like that this kind of duty. You're the one that's it. You have to do it. And then you kind of expand out to see all these other aspects, the other characters, them interacting, but there's never this wide shot. But what if we switch that around? I kind of like the whole slow disclosure thing, though. But that could be more of a directorial choice, I guess, if that's a word. So what if it's four children gather to play hide and go seek tag. Emily is chosen to be it. All right, I want to move this note here for myself over. And I think some interesting things to ask is, how is Emily chosen? Is there some like eeny, meeny, miny, mo, or rock, paper, scissors? It could be a recurring way that they choose. Four children gather to play hide and four. I like saying young friends. I just want to clarify. Young friends. So there's these two older children, two younger children, but they're all close. Even with the younger and older thing, they're still close. There can be some friction, but they're still close. So they gather to play hide and go seek. That's not really gathering. I'd say prepare for now. Prepare to play hide and go seek. Emily is chosen to be it. That's kind of the beat. How is Emily chosen? Okay, Walker. All right, so Emily's counting. Maybe there's a couple of different shots to establish this first one. Then we go to the moment where Travis is hiding. Walker comes to hide with him. Travis and Sage experience some awkward feelings toward each other. That's cool. Sage diffuses the awkward. I did already copy this one down. Diffuses the awkward moment by calling Travis out. Can it be awkward? For ditching Walker. I think Travis needs to be a bit brash. Travis is defensive. Maybe he's like, that was my spot. Like, they were almost done counting. I think I need to identify. Travis accidentally hides with Sage. He asks, and accidentally doesn't accidentally hide. Stumbles into Sage's hiding place. She allows him to stay And then they experience some awkward feelings towards each other. Sage diffuses the awkward moment by calling Travis out for ditching Walker. So that does show Sage caring, noticing how her brother felt, and caring enough to draw Travis's attention to it. I think she's nice about it. Travis, though, is kind of quick to defend himself. I don't think I want to just leave it there, though, because I think Travis can be a little bit miss people, but I think ultimately he gets it and cares. And this was an idea from Darce as well, to bring the group, or maybe it was Jefferson earlier, I can't remember now. Bring the group back together, and Travis make a sacrifice to keep the group together. Sage diffuses the awkward moment by calling Travis out for ditching Walker. Okay, so we got Sage wants everybody to be happy. She takes action to make that be so. I guess it kind of doesn't work in that moment, but I think Darce suggested this. What if Emily finds Travis because he's talking too loudly, defending himself. Like he kind of gets in the moment a little bit. Not that he's not like pretending to be silent. I don't know. I don't want him to seem like he's completely forgotten the game, but Emily finds Travis because he's talking too loudly, defending himself. He's annoyed and races her to base. So I want some kind of little scuffle to happen. And this is actually something Jefferson's been pushing for in this opening scene. He wants a little more drama. I really like the slow burn, the kind of art house feel, but every time I figure out what these guys mean and integrate it, I go, this is good, I like it. So maybe there's some kind of meltdown. Emily finds Travis because he's talking too loudly, defending himself. He's annoyed and races to base. What if Sage is caught because of Travis? Walker rushes to base. Emily is annoyed. Well, so I guess Emily not realizing what game they're playing could make her look bad. Maybe she's not annoyed that they are running. I'm just going to write too much here. So Emily and Sage walk back to base. So where's the tension? Back to base. I don't know. There's some reason somebody needs to bring something up, and then there can be a nice little argument. I mean, it could just be Walker. Maybe Walker is strong enough to call Travis out. That's an interesting idea. Walker calls Travis out while the girls arrive. Travis continues to be defensive. All right, here's something that my own children could do. If the older one is busy defending himself, yeah. My son is Isaiah, and he is very much so inspired my Travis character. And my daughter Eden has very much so inspired the Emily character. And I could totally see him continuing to argue, and she just is done. Like, it's not worth it. And she is, very much so caring about Walker and I guess Emily I'm talking about now. And she's like, no, Walker and I can go do something else. Emily doesn't want to play if they're going to fight. So this is a strange one. I think Sage just watches this. But I think she's watching it because she kind of feels like she's already said her piece. Jeez, I'm adding a lot more. But I think it's good. It's going to be fun to actually write the scene. I might go ahead and write it. Not right today, but at least not while the video rolls. Alright, so Emily doesn't want to play if they're going to fight. Sage just watches the drama. This is fun. Actually get my Sage character watching the drama. I think in this moment, Walker's down with the support, and he will quit the game too. Travis sobers up. Apologizes. How do I never can spell apologizes to Walker. And I want him to somehow announce his appreciation for the group. He's like, I'm sorry. I just got frustrated because I was so focused on winning or whatever. I'm sorry, Walker. Can we just try again? Like, I want us all to be friends. And maybe he explains his legitimate feelings about wanting to hide alone, but recognize that that was hard for Walker. I can figure that out in script writing now. I think I just need to capture the spirit of that. He sobers up, apologizes to Walker, and advocates for keeping the group tight. I think I want it to feel kind of like that. Sage appreciates and admires this. I have no idea if that'll turn into something in the script, but I want to keep that in mind because I think that is what she's feeling. So that's kind of fun. So if we do that whole little scene there, I've introduced the characters. They each have something they want. They each learn something or get something from it. We get a strong understanding of their relationship. The fact that it's a real kid relationship with lots of different emotions going on. I think I want the other children agree. Maybe. Ooh. Let me put this as a note. Can they have some sort of ritual for demonstrating togetherness or solidarity? So, like, I don't know, like, you know, fist bumps or... I don't know. It could even have some kind of like slogan or club name, or could be anything. I'll have to think about that. Something I would have done as a kid for sure. So Travis sobers up, apologizes to Walker, and advocates for keeping the group tight. The other children agree. Sage appreciates and admires. Let's be specific. Travis. I think it's specifically his maturity. All right, so then we finish that scene and we cut to Kent, Travis and Emily's father, finishing up his workday. He runs this software engineering company and is part of a hacker group called Lazy Whispers that monitors and evaluates internet rumors. That's a whole nother scene. I will work on that later. I think that what I just did, talking myself through it, which is not I don't know, sometimes my process of talking out loud is helpful, but sometimes it's not. I wanted to go through this though because one of the things I think I've really struggled with in my process of screenwriting is just understanding like how to do it. Like initially I just sat down and started writing, and I think that was really good because I enjoyed it. For one thing, I think that was big, actually. Doing it and enjoying it is a really important part of the process. Because if I hadn't enjoyed it, I wouldn't have continued doing it. But I enjoyed it enough that I wanted to learn more. And I think I'm still very much so a beginner. But I wrote that content, enjoyed it, and also became something that I wanted to do better. I wanted to take that thing that I wrote. There are pieces of it that gave me something. I felt it, and I wanted to make it better. And now I'm working through that using some of these tools. So I didn't really get into the whole hero's journey. Google that if you're interested. We spent a little time trying to figure out how that fits in with the whole thing, but didn't get super far. But I think it's more of a high-level tool, and I think what I just did here was to go through the practice of using the maybe smaller level, the more granular tool of breaking down a scene and the various characters in it. And this is kind of the first time that I'm going to say I've really done it and felt like I did it. I don't know if it's great, but I feel good about it right now. I feel like I did it. Anyway, I don't think I'm going to keep this video going at this point. I guess the one fun fact, since I like to leave fun facts, we did decide to shoot a scene to try and raise money to shoot a pilot. And then in our conversation last Wednesday, we decided that it was actually Darce that identified a scene that's in a future episode that I've described, but actually haven't even written down yet. And it's the moment when there is a fight between Emily and Travis. It's not really a fight, but it's a retaliatory moment. She's getting him back for something, and there's an accident in their makeshift lab, and the virus goes flying. I mean, it's literally biohazards going on, and this happy accident results in their discovery of how to quickly detect the virus. And there's a whole lot more that goes into it because not everybody can see what's happening. I'm realizing I don't know how much I want to say. If you're watching this, it's going to be spoiled from a story standpoint anyway, so I'll say it. There's this angle of tetrachromacy, which means that they have a fourth cone in their eye. Not all the kids, but Travis and Sage in the story have that cone, and they're able to see frequencies of light that other people aren't. Now, in the general population, about 10% of people are tetrachromats. It's a real thing. I don't know if seeing light emitted from a virus exposed to some other bacteria is real. That probably is a bit of a stretch, but maybe not. I don't know. Maybe there's some scientist out there that wouldn't mind figuring out how that could happen to defend the plot. But it's some weird science thing that happens, and the light is something that Travis sees and Emily doesn't. And last part of the show is really wrapped up around the fact that some of them can see it, some of them can't, and figuring out what's what, and other interesting things happen. Anyway, I think I'm going to cut it off for there. Thanks for watching Bootstrap Cinema. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. And for those of you that fell asleep, wake up! Wake up! Time to do something else. I'll keep it real.